Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kissy. I wanted to do a reading for the collective. So before I begin, the first thing that came through when I decided to do the reading was the John Lennon song, Yesterday. Um, Specifically, the part where he said, I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Or I think he says, I said something wrong, I don't know, she wouldn't say. Now I long for yesterday. I don't know the lyrics fully, but it was that part of the song. Um, Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, when I believe in yesterday, suddenly, no, I'm not half the man I used to be. Uh, Wow. Okay. So there's a divine masculine probably reminiscing about the past, perhaps wondering about the last conversation that they might have had with you, perhaps wondering like what went wrong, um, if they said something wrong, like what exactly did they do or say wrong this time, kind of thing. Like why was it different last time? And what made this time the last time with you? Um, the other song that came through was Leanne Rimes, How Do I Live Without You? And it's how do I get through a night without you if I have to live without you? What kind of life would that be? I need you in my arms, I need you to hold. You're my world, my heart, my soul. If you ever leave, baby, you will take away everything that's real in my life. So tell me, how do I live without you? How do I breathe without you? How could I ever survive? Okay. So clearly, someone is really regretting um, either how things ended. You know what I find interesting is that pride is a thing that will screw up most relationships. And I'm one to believe that if you truly love someone, you just don't let them go unless you have to, because they cannot love you well. If you have to leave someone because they are not loving you well, and by loving you well doesn't mean fulfilling your luxuries, your eyes filled with luxuries or whatever. We're talking about loving you well, as in, do they care about you? Do they take care of you? Do they want the best for you? Do they see you as a reflection of who they are? And if that is so, do they love themselves well? Do they take care of themselves? Do they honor their commitments? Are they a person of their word? Do they live by the integrity of what they claim to stand on? Because if they do that, they'll treat you well, not say one thing and do another, not emotionally manipulate you when they don't get their way, or not uh, m- ignore you and pretend that they don't. It's like There's no need for excuses. There's no need for lies. There's no need to make up stories. You're either interested or you're not interested. You're either on purpose or you're making excuses. And if you're making excuses, then you've got another journey to be on. That doesn't include uh, adult partnership. So I feel like this might be a an individual that when they had you didn't appreciate you, didn't communicate well with you, didn't establish uh, clear intentions or clear boundaries, put on a mask, pretended, and now regrets it, wishing for yesterday. Love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Well, and the craziest thing about individuals like that, they'll never apologize. They'll never question, how can I make it better? How can I do right by you? How can I um, regain your trust? Because you don't just not communicate with someone for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, boundaries are important to have. Disrespect someone verbally because you didn't like what they said or how they said it to you, and that's a justification to be rude or to be cruel or to be demeaning. No, it's not a justification, but people will do that like children because emotionally, that's how they get their way. And it's like, do you do that everywhere with everyone? You actually, as a grown up, behave that way? You mean to tell me that your first line of interaction with a person is that the moment they disagree with you, or that the moment that uh, or that the moment you don't like something that they say or do, your first response is to get angry and curse them out, or get angry and ignore them, or get angry and seek revenge of the most despicable ways without ever even once addressing the issue? And let's assume you do address the issue. Are you addressing it to control the other person? I just don't want you to do that. I just don't want you to, uh, because, or just because I said so, or just because of who I am in your life, you're just supposed to succumb to whatever my supposed authority rule is in this dynamic. But if the reason you're angry and your justification is an emotional manipulation, or the intention is to somehow get me not to do something that makes you insecure, or that I question something that you can't answer and it makes you frustrated, or that I called you out on a lie that you know and I know you lied about, but instead of admitting and acknowledging, you think it's okay to just do what? Deny, deflect, and continue to deceive. Clearly, I'm speaking to someone that is yet unhealed, a karmic energy perhaps in your energy field, a past connection left unresolved, not because you didn't reach out and try to balance, or understand or open up a dialogue to get to the bottom of a matter and see, why are you so unhappy? Why are you so discontent? If I did something that you don't like, make it justified. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't like me just speaking the way that I do. Bothers you. So I'm supposed to change all of my personality, all of my ways, because something about me embarrasses you. Something about me makes you uncomfortable. Something about me makes you insecure. Something about me makes you feel inferior. Something about me makes you feel uh, that I should grovel or be beneath you. And that's normal. You would find that to be normal. You produce nothing in my life that grows me, but yet you feel that I owe you something? If I provide you with loyalty, respect, honesty, you're going to justify mistreatment based on hearsay about anything to do with a time period before you came into the picture. That includes friendships, romantic partnerships, life choices, career choices, beliefs, anything that I may have been before you came into the picture. You think it's okay to question in your head about who I am to you, and therefore judge me here and now as I am with you, prejudging me before you even begin to be with me. So, people like this will come into your life because something about you attracts them and they want you. They want you for whatever they want you. They want to have sex with you or they want to have a relationship with you. Why do they want to have a relationship with you? Because they're attracted to you for some reason. That's the basic. But then you go ahead and pursue getting to know each other, and suddenly expectations change. Demands become uh, where all your autonomy has to be relinquished because suddenly you're in a relationship. And and that's not so. And clearly, once again, I repeat, I am obviously speaking to an unhealed aspect, a karmic aspect, and if it's uncomfortable because it's not positive, then clearly there's work to be done within. I understand not liking to discuss negative things or focus our minds on negativity. In that sense, it's about what are you creating in the moment? Like in the moment, here we are, everything is great. But if you're choosing to speak about something from the past that is on repeat, like the story about how broke you are, or the story about how little you, or how much you can't do something. It's like if that's the only story you have to tell about why here and now you cannot be at your best, there still needs to be, there's healing to be had. There's healing to be had. So right now I'm bringing up, those were the songs that came through. This wasn't on my playlist. This was songs that just popped into my consciousness. I wasn't listening to them within the week. These songs haven't popped into my playlist God knows how long. So the fact that they're showing up, it's like the universe is saying, here you go. Here's a theme. And the song yesterday is filled with regret, filled with inferiority and insecurity, longing for yesterday because today sucks. And today only sucks because you're still wanting the yesterday that you did have and didn't appreciate when you had it. Because if you had appreciated it, you wouldn't be longing for it. And it's normal to miss someone that you love. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people that make mistakes, lose people, and then act like they can't do something about it. I guarantee that those people, the reason they're moping around in victim mode, acting like the world sucks and that nobody loves them, and they're so mad at the world because people betrayed them and all this shit, they haven't even tried to have the conversation, the real conversation to resolve it. Because if they did try to get to the bottom line of why that dynamic isn't working in the most healthiest of ways on their part, despite what the other person is doing, you're going to walk away, whether or not that person validated, clarified, communicated, or whatever they did or didn't do. When you go in with that purpose and you've done your part, that you know you want to make sure something stays intact, something stays in integrity, and that person refuses to address what needs to be addressed. And it's not about let's argue and let's go in circles and talk about the same thing. No, it's what led you to betray me? What led you to lie to me? What led you to feel that it was justified to mistreat me because of a mood that you're in? What led you there? What is the core issue that makes you say that is okay to do? Because that is the part that needs the healing. And so if they never wanted to address that, and that's how far you went with them, because you've clarified that whatever issues you could have had, you've already resolved by letting them know. Well, I apologize for any of the things I may have said to you that were hurtful. Specifically, whatever the person claims you did. Let the person tell you everything that you did wrong. Everything you did wrong. Oh, what? Oh, because I yelled that day? Uh-huh. Why? Oh, why did I yell at you? Oh, why did I say, damn, what the hell did you do that for? Why did I say that? Oh, let me see. Oh, because maybe like 3 or 4 times I kept asking you, scoot over. This is just a very petty example. Scoot over so that you don't bump into me. I have hot coffee in my hand. And you keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. And I keep having to move over and I keep having to like manage my coffee cup because you just can't keep yourself in order. And all I'm saying is scoot over so that you can have all the space you need. Look, there's a ton of space over there. Go over there then. Scoot over, move over that way. If you can't maintain your boundaries, right? But I'll say that 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then when the person bumps into me and the cup spills all over, and I say, damn, do you see why did you do that? It's not a, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, you told me like 50 times I should have listened. Damn, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I should have calmed down when you asked me to the first time. No, it's why you gotta get mad? Why you gotta exaggerate? Look, it's not a big deal. It can get cleaned up. Why are you so mad? They don't take into account that you were probably asking them to scoot over because your shirt is brand new and it's silk and it's white and you don't want to get it dirty. So you're being very careful about how you manage your own space and you're asking, can you please just respect my space? I'm not asking you to do things my way. I'm just asking you to stay on your boundaries. And if you want to do all your craziness, you want to move around however you please, all that wailing and all that wow wow, can you just scoot over and do it that way? I'm not telling you not to be you. I'm not telling you not to do you. I'm not telling, what I'm asking is keep your mess, keep your chaos to yourself. Don't allow your chaos to interfere. That doesn't mean I don't like you. That doesn't mean I don't want to be around you. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy you. That just means right now you're being this chaos. And right now, this chaos can make my coffee spill on my brand new white silk shirt. So can you please keep it over there while I'm trying to keep it clean here? In whatever smallest scale that can be. That is a conversation that you're having with a person that refuses to take accountability or that does not have the capacity to understand what it means when someone says, it's like before they will respect your boundary, it has to make sense to them. And for it to make sense to them, they have to, it's like you have to bypass all these questions in their own head. Like, who the hell are you to even tell them, excuse me, can you keep it over there? If this person thinks how audacious of you to even tell them to scoot over, now it's like, what, you want to tell me what to do? Now you think you're the boss of me? Like, you got to fight through that first before they even consider respecting your boundaries. So let's say you do get through that. Now they're bitter, resentful. Oh, because you just think you're perfect. Oh, because now you got to live with this person next to you, respecting your boundaries, but resenting the shit out of you 24/7 and constantly throwing jabs at you. Oh, excuse me, Miss White Silk Shirt. Miss I can't spill my coffee. Excuse me, Miss I need order. Excuse me. And now you got to supposedly tolerate that and call that love and call that friendship and call that we're good and call that harmony, you constantly doing that. It's not about, shooting the shit with your friends and talking and jabbing at each other. You know the difference between a joke and you know the difference between a person that doesn't respect you but doesn't but expects you to respect them. You understand the difference? A person that respects themselves knows how to respect you. Period. I know that if I have guests in my home, I'm going to be considerate of their sleep. I'm going to be considerate of certain things. There are people that are like, this is how I do me, and you just have to accept it. And they'll invite guests over, but they won't consider that their guests might have different sleeping patterns. And they're not going to change their pattern for you because this is their house and they have a right to do that. But you have to know who you're dealing with. Boundaries are fine. Nobody's saying you can't have your boundaries. Problem is when you have a boundary, there are people that cannot respect it simply because they don't respect themselves. So this person that you that might be feeling regret about yesterday, wishing they had a chance, they never probably apologize for their behavior, and they're not willing to take accountability. They want to they rather ignore the connection and just let it go and leave it unresolved simply because it suits their ego. Because they already know they can come back and apologize and say you were right and say, I would wish for anything that you and I could have what we had together. Because since the fact that you and I have not been together, all these other relationships I've pursued or have not be, have not been what I actually had with you. It's like what you provide them is a certain kind of love and respect that they took for granted. And when they realize, oh my God, it's like once you get a taste of that, you're going to see what doesn't have that. And it's more people that don't have that than those that do. So it's important to value what you have when you have it, appreciate it, do your best to give your best while you're there. Don't wait. And I hate that. Oh, guys only realize that they're in love after the fact. You mean to tell me that in the moment, someone actually telling you, hey, this hurts me when you do this, is hard to understand? No, it's not hard to understand. It's the lesson is not getting them to understand where they're going wrong. The lesson isn't to make them understand where they're making mistakes with taking care of you, loving you correctly. You know your value. The thing is, because you know your value and because you love them and because you pity the fool and you want to make sure that they don't lose out on the goodness of you, that they don't lose out on the gift of you to them, because you know for a fact that you were loving to them. You know for a fact that you were loyal to them. You know for a fact that you are a good catch. You know for a fact that they didn't have better than you before they met you. So you're not afraid to let people go that cannot love you right, that cannot respect you clearly. And because they know this, they know that you're not gonna, that you may forgive them and you may say, no problem. I appreciate that. And maybe, just maybe, depending on who and how they left things and how much damage, I guess you could say, was done. By that I mean, how much disrespect or disloyalty or fakeness were they really giving you that you just cannot come back from? You know what I mean? Like some things you can reestablish a connection, but it's like once a certain trust is lost, it requires work to regain it. And not everybody is willing to do that work to regain the trust that they've lost. And not every situation is worthy of going through the work to regain a trust because the connection just is no longer there. And I think that's what they fear realizing when they lose that connection with you permanently. Like it doesn't matter what occurs. It doesn't matter how wonderful you are today. It doesn't matter how great your life is today. It doesn't matter how amazing what you have to offer me today is. If yesterday you threw me under the bus, if yesterday you betrayed me in a way that destroyed my heart, if yesterday you were cruel to me unnecessarily for no reason, There's absolutely nothing that can make that change. Only a masochist will return to someone that they already accepted as malicious towards them, having no love towards them. And it wasn't like a one-time situation. It's like a provable thing. You can like literally see where every time someone did a certain type of behavior and how they handled it when you finally chose to walk away, how they decided that you weren't worthy to them to apologize or to fix it because they were so conditioned to being pampered and babied because of the tantrums, and you providing them this safety net of saying, let me give you another opportunity to fix it here with me because I value and cherish this connection. I'm going to go ahead and try one more time for the sake of not separating from from our connection permanently. And this happens a lot, especially like in cheating situations. It's like you can cheat a billion times, and if she never knows, then no consequence, apparently, right? Supposedly. But how close can you really be to that person? How much love can you really have for that person when there's that wall between you and there's this huge part of your life that she's oblivious to? Because you you think you're protecting her or him. You think you're protecting them by keeping it a secret. You're not protecting them. You're creating a very dark space between you. And that dark space between you becomes distorted, becomes convoluted, and becomes a nightmare. And it's just cruel to do that to someone that genuinely actually loves you. Now, cheaters just need to be with cheaters and be happy being self-destructive and disrespectful to one another. That's fine. There's nothing, I mean, if that's your lifestyle, that's how you like to be. You like to be disloyal and you think it's cute to like you think somehow you think it's cool to get away with your lies and that somehow that makes you powerful. It actually makes you pathetic and weak. If you really think about it, it's pathetic that you don't have the courage to tell someone how it is and just be honest and be committed and do the work that it takes to restrain yourself from temptation and or be honest about your ways and tolerate the consequences of that, or find someone that is just like you. The thing is that those types of people, 9 out of 10, cannot take what they give, cannot dish out, or cannot take what they dish out, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. And that's been like forever that way, where people, and that's not just romantic partnerships, it's friendships too. It's like, so we're friends, but you don't have a problem hating on me behind my back. And then who you're hating on me with behind my back ha- doesn't have any issues hanging out with me, knowing this, pretending that they don't know. You know how uncomfortable it is? Someone telling you trash about a mutual friend, and now you're supposed to go hang out with that mutual friend knowing this trash that they talk, watching the hypocrisy right in your face. You can't live with that. So you end up telling the person, why don't you tell this person what you told me? Why don't you tell them to their face? Why are you telling me? Talk to them. And instead of saying, you're right, I should talk to them, instead of bashing them behind their backs and being a hypocrite, what they end up doing is they get mad at you. So it's like, you're mad at me because I'm telling you that you're a coward, basically. I'm letting you know, I'm letting you see that all this shit talking that you're doing behind this person's back just makes you look like the fakest person in the world. Because if I'm watching what you're doing behind their back and then I see how you are in front of them, obviously, I'm not going to just be like your other friends that will entertain your gossip, sit with you, and also and add on, and then in front of that person pretend like we're all good and think somehow you're cool because that person doesn't know that you're shit talking about them. But yet you're the one still hanging out with them. Like, why are you hanging out with someone you have to shit talk about? So how cool are you that you're trying to hang out with somebody you shit talk about? You know what I do when I don't like someone? I don't talk to them anymore. I just don't. You know what I do when I meet someone that wants something more with me than what I'm willing to offer? I tell them very clearly where I stand. You know why? So that they don't come at me with none of that. But you made me believe and you made me think. No, I didn't make you nothing. I didn't make you think anything. I didn't make you do anything. And people will still try to guilt trip you and make you and paint you out as a villain and try to make you look like you're malicious or evil simply because you say no, or simply because you call it out as it is, or simply because you ask the questions. Like, why why cheat on your spouse? Why not just tell your spouse you're no longer interested in them and you rather go be with someone else? Well, I can't do that because, okay, so basically you can't do it. No, it has no, the only reason you can't do it is because you prefer to have your cake and eat it too, and you also prefer not having to make the hard decision of doing the right thing, which is being honest about how you feel, saying the truth about what you're thinking, giving up a temptation as a sacrifice for a better connection, a more real connection. But because people aren't willing to do that, you have a bunch of fake marriages, miserable, um, superficial, with huge walls between them. Thick, I should say, thick walls between them. And then you wonder why people get cancer, or why people get um, depressed, or why people gain weight, or why people lose weight, or why people get addictions, or why people get Alzheimer's. I mean, and I'm not saying that cheating is the reason why all these things happen, but lying to your partner is a direct indication that you lie to yourself. And the first time that I really, really, really observed that, I didn't understand the excuse. You know what I mean? I was really like, I was still young. I was very young. And it just does not make sense. And the reason it doesn't make sense is because it's just, we've been conditioned to normalize having affairs and like, oh, like it's just so normal. Like, I just lost control, and your heartbreak doesn't matter. Knowing that you care about me and doing something to you that I would really not like someone to do to me. Like, you really got to be some kind of character to think it wouldn't hurt you if you trusted someone and they betrayed you like that. But maybe the mind of that type of individual doesn't consider that, doesn't even have the capacity to consider the other person. In their world, all they see is, as long as I get what I want, and as long as you don't find out, I get what I want. Yay! And they really don't understand that integrity is doing the right thing, even when nobody's watching. Even when nobody's watching. So, this is a card that fell out when I was shuffling. So, let's see what it is. Emotional. Do I sound emotional? I'm not coming from an emotional space. I'm just providing the message as it came to me. How do I live without you? That makes me think of the song again. I mean, how do you get through a night without someone that you're regretting losing? Well, because you don't regret losing anyone that you did your best at holding on to. And you did everything on your part, and that anything that caused a friction or a problem in the dynamic, meaning that anytime, like if you initiated a conversation that led into an argument, and that argument led into a fight or separation, you know that you did that and initiated it, and that person legitimately speaks to you and says to you, it was uncalled for how you handled it because of ABC, and they break it down. They just give you a reasonable justification for why they did not agree with you and why you took it to another level. I I guarantee you would accept accountability and listen to reason. Why? Because you're not emotional that way. You become emotional that way unconsciously, perhaps, in the areas that are unconscious to you. But you're for overall, I feel like you are pretty conscientious about how your energy or how your ways can affect others. Because you know how your ways can affect others, you mitigate and manage yourself as well as possible so that you can uh, be amongst those more sensitive than you. And by sensitive, we're talking about people with triggers. And you can bypass a lot of their triggers. You bypass a lot of their triggers by doing that. But but there's a difference between walking on eggshells to avoid the emotional outbursts or the confrontations. And then there's a difference between managing the environment by not allowing their reactions to destabilize you and being able to influence and calm the situation. Problem is when you do that from an unhealed place, conflict comes through because it feels personal. Why are you reacting that way? You didn't have to, like, you can, the same message, but because it's coming from a unhealed space, the message doesn't get heard the right way. It doesn't get heard. But when you're healed, you can call it out and it'll be received differently because from the space that it's coming from, it's healed. And that healing is what your response to a negative can heal a situation when you're healed. Your response to a negative when you're triggered only creates another negative. So what's here for the collective? I think we're done with these karmic energies. Or maybe that's just the final countdown. Where's that from? What show is that again? It's the final. Oh, that's gonna stick with me for a minute until I remember. Indigo could be significant, the color, dark blue. The third eye chakra, the sixth chakra. Number six could be significant, the number three. But you could be seeing clearing your third eye chakra. Again, the power of three is here. Power of three will set you free. 33 could be significant. So you might be activating your third eye chakra at this time. So be able to see beyond the emotions or see through the emotions and freeing yourself from any toxic energies. Feeling lucky. I just heard the song. Dun, 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 dun. She's up all night to this song. I'm up all night to get lucky. Okay. Who sings that? Isn't that I'm up all night to get lucky? Somebody could be getting lucky. No, but somebody's just feeling lucky. I know for a fact you could be feeling lucky at this time, but in this we're not talking about like gratitude, like wow man, I'm feeling really lucky, like blessed, graced, right? That's a vibe in itself. But in this case, I feel like this person that you're attracting, or this person that's interested in you, there's somehow you make them feel lucky, or you make them feel, you bring a certain energy to them. This person is aware of the synchronicities with numbers, especially. This person is probably, I heard 33rd Mason with the third eye and the power of three. This person is very powerful. Their vibe is really powerful. And they're probably associated to Jupiter. So they could be a Sagittarius, could be a Pisces energy, or they have Jupiter in their stuff. Significantly placed in their chart. And the reason I even said that is because the skull is about secret society. So it's time to upgrade. I feel like you're about to everything that we discussed about yesterday. Okay, all our troubles seem so far away. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in this. Okay, you're upgrading from all of that, all of those experiences. And I feel like also the experiences in partnerships that the collective may have been experiencing is possible, is possibly due to the karmic repercussions of the generation before. Um, and I think for the most part, most of the collective would know this, but um, on some level, you may have gone through a ton of experiences in your partnerships, thinking it was your karma, thinking it was yours to fix, thinking that these were um, culminations of what you were doing. But in fact, you were just manifesting from the environment in which you were brought into, or something like that. And so it was from the energies that preceded you. You were living out the experiences from the energies that came before you until you became conscious of putting a stop to those energies, until you said enough is enough. And when you stop the cycle of your generational curse, uh, it takes time for the cycles to wash out the toxins. Hoy es noche de sexo, voy a devorarte, nena linda. This is saying tonight is the night of, let's say making love, so it doesn't sound so ratchet. Tonight is, okay, no, it's a night of sex. I'm gonna devour you, beautiful lady. Thanks. So when you upgrade, you're upgrading to a person that's very powerful. This is a person that is probably very well aware of occult knowledge um, from a very high order. This person is um, this masculine. He's when I say powerful, I'm referring to his life skills and spiritual understanding have made him very, very powerful in the spirit, and in reality. His essence exudes. You can feel it, and you'll know it by what he's into and what he does with his time. So this is the upgrade, and this is going to be very passionate. This man is going to be very, uh, how do you say? I don't want to say demanding, like in a bad way, but his time is valuable. And so when he gives it to you, it's undivided and intentional. That's coming straight from the horse's mouth. Obviously, I'm saying it, but maybe he's going to say it directly to you that he's he's he expects um for what he's bringing to you, for how he's going to take care of you, how he's going to it's not so much expectation he has of you, it's just how he does things. So he's going to be very intentional and very clear about how he does things. And like he's not about playing any games. So he's very attracted to you, extremely attracted to you. But even that, I don't want to say that it's controlled. It's just like I said, it's intentional. So there is some kind of it would seem systematic in a certain way, but it is not really. I feel like maybe creating the space for it might be systematic, but the process of your time together, your energy shared, is going to be super intentional and very liberating. You're going to realize you guys have a lot of things that are different about each other, like about how you do things, and it actually might be a benefit. Um, like you're going to learn a lot from each other. You might recall a dream, something to do with the offense. You might get some information in regards to like it's almost like being prepared for it without being prepared for the maybe the backlash of the past when you met, when you bring in this energy. Now that it's time to upgrade and this is what you're manifesting, emotions matter. Because remember, we're not talking about being emotional in the sense of toxic emotions, but emotions do matter. Emotions generate energy, but it has to be authentic, it has to be natural, it has to be pure, it has to be healing, it has to be uh, nurturing for it to benefit anyone. So cherish the day because it's coming. I feel like this connection is also going to be very spiritual, as you already know. Spirit matters, but it's gonna something about the emotions and the spirit. Um, I feel like maybe the synergy of the dynamic between you and this masculine are going to be very it's going to create like a powerful aura. Yeah, you're going to be able to affect the matrix with um your energy, with how you guys interact. So I feel like you're going to be kind of having to wear a mask. It's like I know how it sounds, but it's like having like your superhero powers and hidden in plain sight. So your energy, the synergy of your energy, um, your magnetic attraction is going to create this very powerful grid, maybe around the matrix or within the matrix, or I don't know. Hmm. Moon goddess, the color silver could be significant. You might like wearing silver jewelry. Um, you could be very in tune the with the waters, especially like river. I every time I say that word, I can't say it good. River, water. Perhaps it's considered sweet water. So something to do with perhaps maybe using sweet water. Oh, maybe it made me think of Clearwater, Florida. Okay, so something to do with sweet water. I don't know. Maybe you're being asked to like make sweet water. Maybe like to sweeten the energy or something like that. I don't think it's to drink sweet water. I don't know. I would look into, I might look into it. Maybe I'll let you know. But that's the message I got for now. My apologies if the beginning of my message was a little uncomfortable, perhaps. I don't know. I don't like talking about, I don't like having to talk like that to just anyone that comes along and listens to my videos. It's like, I didn't come to hear this crap. Maybe, maybe if that's going on, then maybe that message is for you. Because I don't think that what I said should be offensive, but in my experience, that same conversation has made enemies in my life. So I hope not in this case. I hope it's understood by those that need to understand it. And I hope that those that resonate with it, like from my perspective, could like agree and be like, well, obviously, right? Like you would think. Then thank you. Because sometimes it feels like I'm alone in this crazy world. I'm kidding. It's not a crazy world. I'm not even going to put that out there because it is not. It is actually a beautiful reality. So that's all, folks. I'll come back soon with another message. Take care. Bye.